For the very first time, we have all three trim levels of the 2024 Alfa Romeo Tonale PHEV lined up. The entry-level Sprint, the middle spec TI, and the top spec Veloce. Now we can see what the differences are between the three trim levels, the pricing, everything they come with as far as options, all that here today. What's good, guys? Welcome back to Ron's Rides. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video where we're making history today. For the very first time here at Alfa Romeo of Lakeland in Florida, we have all three Tonale trim levels lined up side by side for a comparison today between the entry-level trim, the middle spec luxury trim, and the sporty top-level trim. Yes, the Sprint Tonale and the TI Tonale and the Veloce Tonale all lined up side by side, done in beautiful Rosso paint. So we have a fair chance with all three specs to see the differences between the three models. So let's compare and contrast. Let's see what the different options are. Let's see what the different styling cues are for the exterior and interior. And let's just see what Tonale makes the most sense for you when it comes down to the pricing, options, features, everything like that. So with that said, let's get right to it. So let's break it down by price. Starting with the Tonale Sprint, we're looking at a total MSRP base, just standard, at $42,995. Yes, $42,995. For the TI luxury trim, we're looking at $44,840, and then for the Veloce top level trim, we're looking at $47,995. And per usual, big shout out to Audi Lakeland for allowing me the opportunity to film all three of these cars side by side for the first time. Make sure you guys check the link in the description so you guys can get a hold of any one of these Tonales or any of their inventory by checking out their website or giving them a call. All right, now guys, don't make fun of me on my lineup. You know, I tried my best to line these up as good as possible in a, ascending or descending order, depending on how you look at it. But what we have here is the very left of me is going to be the Sprint, the middle is going to be the TI, and to the right hand side of me is going to be the Veloce. So entry level, middle spec, top trim. All right, so really what we're looking at here is the differences starting off with the front fascia, which there's not a big difference between the Veloce and the Sprint. So the middle really stands out. I mean, between these two, you can't really tell between the entry-level model versus the top-level model or top trim level model. I mean, it's crazy how they did that. Now, the first thing you're going to notice that's the same is the tri-LEDs between all models. As you guys can see, it's done on the Veloce, done on the TI, and on the Sprint. And there really isn't any styling difference, one not being, I guess, colored different, like a black housing versus a chrome housing or aluminum housing. They're all exactly the same with the orange reflectors on the side because, here in America, we gotta spoil everything with those orange reflectors. But then the Trello and Scudetto up front will give you the matte black look on the Veloce, to where the Sprint, or not Sprint, TI, always had the aluminum look because it was more of the luxury trim. So I got away from the sporty aspect of a gloss black look or a matte black look. And then you get that same look for the Trello and Scudetto on the Sprint. So there is no difference between, again, the Sprint and the Veloce when it comes to here. Now, also the same is the lower lip. You guys can see that the gloss black lip up top, or not lip, I would say the gloss black grille surround up top is on all three models. But what you'll notice is that the lower lip on the TI is done in aluminum to match with this Trello and Scudetto, to where, again, the Veloce is the same black and black as the Sprint. So again, looking at all three of them, you can tell that really you're only going to notice the TI between the three when it comes to the front fascia when you're really looking at the colorway. Now, when it comes to the side profile, there's actually some distinction between the three of them, a little bit more than what you see in the front when it comes to all three models. I'll go through all three of them so you guys can see right off the bat and then kind of make your own judgments before I point them out on how noticeable the differences are when it comes to the side profile. All right, so we should probably start with where you start, and that is the entry-level Sprint. So what is it that we're looking at really here? Well, we gotta look at the wheels to start, because we're looking at 18-inch 5-hole wheels done in an aluminum finish. And you guys can see that we have a pretty simple setup when it comes to the brake and caliper and tire there for the Goodyear. We also have around the front lip the wheel arches and the side skirt, and then the rear wheel arch, a soft touch plastic on the outside. Sorry, hard touch plastic. And then the front fender is pretty simple and plain, and there's a reason why I'm pointing that out. And then the window moldings. The window moldings are done in that same hard touch plastic that you guys will see on the wheel wells and the side skirts. All right, so notice all those things I pointed out here on this Sprint, because on the TI, we take it up a notch. So for the TI here, we have, well, 19-inch wheels. It's a little sportier. Regular center cap when it comes to the Alfa Romeo insignia there. All right, same brakes, but we do have Falcon tires for this model here. Now you can also see that we have a gloss black surround when it comes to the wheel arches, the front lip, the side skirt, and the side skirt also has an aluminum flare, or the insert there, that shows off that aluminum feel with the symmetry going through the front, and you'll see it also on the rear. Also, we have the TI badge right there to let you know what model we're working with, to where the Sprint did not have a badge at all. And then the window moldings, they're also done in that hard touch plastic. So no symmetry when it comes to that, to match the side skirts and the wheel wells. You also will see that on this model, we do have a sunroof, which is an option for the TI spec, to where it is not for the Sprint. So keep that in mind, that you can have an optioned out sunroof on the TI. Now for the Veloce. What's the difference here? Well, 20-inch wheels. So we went from 18s to 19s to 20-inch wheels. We are back to the monochrome center cap, but now we have red calipers with white script on this model here. And that is one of those things you'll get standard on this model, is red calipers, white script. Now you also will see that we have the Veloce badge there, letting you know what trim level we're working with. And this is actually a dark midone finish, not a gloss black finish. So it's close to what you see on a Tonale TI, but this is a dark midone, which is a different colorway. And I had to double check that. And the insert here is done in the same dark midone finish. It just gives it a little bit more kind of protruding look and aggressive look, but it's done in that same dark finish to match with the whole flavor of the Veloce. And then the window moldings. The window moldings on this one are done in gloss. So you will see the gloss finish to match the B-pillar here on the Veloce, to where they were plastic on both the TI and Sprint. And then the roof is there, done in glass. So then you take a step back and you see it all together, and now you'll see where I'm pointing out the differences between the three models, and see which one you guys are liking the best out of the three. Now we need to talk about the rear of all three models, because you're really going to notice the difference on the lower half. When it comes to the top half of all three lined up here, you will see that the LED tail lamp bar is the same. The Alfa Romeo insignia is the same as far as color, and same for the script as far as color. All three models show the same exact thing. Not even a gloss black or anything to change it up, which is not a bad thing at all. Same for the tail lamp bar. You can see the third brake light. Same for the side blades on all three. I mean, they're all done in gloss black, so they keep that same look, keep that same wavelength, with the shark fin antenna done in gloss black for all three as well. Now, what you'll notice is the lower half. On the Sprint entry-level trim, we get that same hard touch plastic that we saw completely on the back. Rear diffuser, everything done in that hard touch plastic in black with the reflectors there. Every one of these are the same. Keep in mind, no exhaust tips. For the TI, no exhaust tips, but done in gloss black. All right, so same as the side for the side skirts and the wheel wells, but in gloss black, and same with the rear diffuser done in aluminum, just how we had that aluminum insert on the side skirt. So matching the same energy and symmetry there. Again, no exhaust tips. For the Veloce, here we are with the dark midone. We have also the dark midone rear diffuser, but we have exhaust tips. This is the only model that has physical exhaust tips protruding from the rear bumper. There you go. That's your big difference with this one. So obviously it's going to be a big difference for sound, which we will hear demonstrated between all three models in just a moment, so you guys can make your decision on sound and how these all would be if you were to step on the pedal a little bit. But does the changes between the three models really kind of, you know, make your choice? Is it significant enough? We'll see when it comes to the engine. Now, while all three models have the same 1.3 liter turbocharged inline-four engine that's going to give you 285 horsepower and 350 pound-feet of torque that's going to accelerate you from 0 to 60 in 6 seconds flat, and they all have the same 6-speed transmission, well, one or two are actually a little different than the other. This is not an E all-wheel drive when it comes to the suspension setup like these two models here. The TI and Veloce are both E all-wheel drive, to where the Tonale Sprint is not. So you're gonna get a little bit more drivability and functionality when it comes to both the Veloce and TI when it comes to the suspension. Now you can see that our flappers are open. Yes, both fuel doors, one for electricity, one for actual fuel. So the actual fuel tank capacity for the Tonale is 11.2 gallons for the tank, and the true MPG that it will return to you is 47.9 gallons. Now, or miles per gallon, shall I say. Now, with that, on electric range, you can go 33 full miles when you charge up the Tonale. And your PHEV door is going to be on the left-hand side, as you guys can see. Now, when it comes to the actual fuel economy, that's going to be on the other side here, and we're looking at 29, 29, 29. It's 29s across the board of premium unleaded fuel. So, what are we looking at here? 29 city, 29 highway, 29 combined. In total, you're gonna get 77 mpge for all three models. So keep in mind, you can do a regular level 2 charger or level 2 fast charger for the Tonale. This is their first plug-in hybrid, and this is the only model you can get here in the States. So if you guys want to get into the Tonale, you are going to definitely be saving on fuel and range, because the range is about 310 miles when it comes to the Tonale overall. So I think you'll be doing pretty good when it comes to travels. Now, when it comes to the rear cargo, well, you're looking at the exact same measurements for all three vehicles between the three trim levels. So 22.9 cubic feet of space with the seats folded up, and you can see that there's a 60-40 split and a center feed through. But when you decide to fold all the seats down, you're looking at 50.5 cubic feet of space between the cargo of the Tonale. Now we have the interior here of the Sprint, and I'm not going to go through every technical detail with all the technology and all that kind of stuff. All that is the same. Here's some things you're going to notice between each model that we get in between the three. Hopping inside, you will notice before we even get there, no side sill in aluminum here, no aluminum pedals on the Sprint. Also, the door here, well, it's pretty simple and chill, right? Because we don't have the Harman Kardon sound system here, but we have a nice soft kind of insert for the door card that matches the soft inserts on the seats with the gold stitching, or bronze stitching, shall I say, and this kind of carbon weave on the seating. This is actually one of my favorite interiors when it comes to the Tonale, and this is one of those things to where it's an actual standard feature, because the only actual option on this car is the paint. So the standard seating is actually really nice. Now, also no sunroof here on the Sprint level, and keep in mind that there are going to be subtle things you'll notice about the rest of the interior, like no paddle shifters on the Sprint. You can see that this is done in a kind of a metal weave, but it's not done how the other ones are, because this doesn't have the interior ambient lighting. And then you'll notice things like the wireless charger here has the small Alfa Romeo insignia there. I'll explain more in just a second, because you'll understand in a second. I'm going to start it up because I want to show you that when we go into dynamic mode here, well, there's nothing that lights up here. There's a reason why I'm going to say that. You guys remember I talked about the E all-wheel drive in the suspension settings. But other than that, that's the biggest changes you're really going to see when it comes to the Sprint that I'm pointing out, because when we get into the TI, there's a couple things I need to point out. Now the TI is a small upgrade, right? All right, so still no aluminum side sill or aluminum pedals here, but on the door paneling, you will see a Harman Kardon sound system. You will also see ventilated and perforated leather for the seats here, all right? Because we have the sun and sound package or interior package, forgot exactly what it's called, but we have the Harman Kardon sound system, we have the ventilated and heated perforated leather seats, and we have the sunroof as an option, all right? So these are all options added to this model, and it looks really good on the TI. Now, you'll also notice that we do have the Serpent. Look at it here on this model. It's a lot different. You see the big Serpent for the wireless charging pad here versus the Sprint where it had the little logo and insignia there. Also, you'll notice that this whole blade here is not like the other one. Yeah, this one actually has the illumination for interior lighting. So it's different when it comes to the material on that part of the car. It's just the small things you'll notice. But when I start the car and I go into dynamic mode, nothing specifically there, right? Keep in mind that we do have E all-wheel drive, but there's something particular on the Veloce that we'll talk about in just a moment. Now let's check out the Veloce, because we get the same kind of material when it comes to the aluminum right there. We get the same kind of cloth material that we had on the other model, but we also have the aluminum side sill there. We have the aluminum pedals there. And we also have that sun and sound package. So we also have, premium interior package, which gives us the leather perforated seats, heated and cooled with that sound system, but also option out the sunroof as well. Then we step inside. There's a couple of upgrades. Same upgrade when it comes to the actual interior lighting and this whole plate here with that insert that actually has the interior ambient lighting. But also notice that we, just like the Sprint entry-level model, we have the little insignia there compared to the big Serpent that we had in the TI. That's something different, right? Also notice on the Veloce, we got patties. Yep, we have paddle shifters, column mounted right there, the big aluminums, and then start it up. And yep, you will see the damper light up there in natural, and you have dynamic too. So you can do the soften or harden of the dampers right there with the press of a button on the Veloce compared to the TI and the Sprint. The TI and Sprint are a little different when it comes to driving dynamics because the Veloce is the most sporty one. But really, those are the big differences that you'll see right off the back aesthetically between the three interiors. And keep in mind that for the TI and for the Veloce here, these are options that we added. Option out for the sound package seats, and then option for the sunroof. Now, I'm not saying that you can't option out other models, but for the Sprint, I know you cannot get the sunroof. Not exactly sure if you can get the sound or interior package. So keep that in mind that if you want a sunroof, you either have to get a TI or a Veloce, and then the Veloce will automatically come with the patties. So really quick, I wanted to line all three stickers up for each model to back up my statements here, just so you guys can see that we have exactly what we have here today. Like when it comes to that fuel economy, all being the same between the three. When it comes to what we have here, the Veloce, the TI, and just a regular Sprint. It doesn't say Sprint, but they're all Sprint. And they're all PHEVs, even though it doesn't say PHEV, but you can see E all-wheel drive for both of these as well. Really, it's all subjective when it comes to a lot of these things for the options. So don't necessarily pay attention to the options. Pay attention to the base price, because this is what you get. $47,995 for the top trim, $45,840 for the middle, and $42,995 for the entry level. That's where you start without options. And then when it comes to features, this is what you have without options on the Veloce. Make sure you guys pause it and zoom in, screenshot, just so you guys can see that. Same on the TI. Everything that it comes with standard at that price point for the base MSRP. And then for the Sprint. So again, same exact thing. Make sure you guys check out everything that these come with, because it take me forever to list it all off one by one, so you guys can see it there. Now, I did mention to you guys, and this is something I want to bring up, because we both have all-wheel drives for the Veloce and the TI. But the big thing with the Veloce is it actually has an active or dual active suspension. So you guys can see here, this is why your damper light came on when I put it in natural and dynamic mode, because of the fact that you have that suspension for the Veloce, because the driving dynamics are a lot different for the Veloce being the sportiest spec. You don't have it here on the TI. Yes, it's an all-wheel drive, but it doesn't have that active suspension, which is why you didn't see the dampers. So again, the options I can just briefly show you, but I guess to back up what I was saying too about the option roof and the leather seats and everything like that, and the wheels are options as well. But yeah, the Sprint, we only have one option, again, as I mentioned, and it's just the Rosso paint. So which Tonale is right for you? Which one are you guys taking when it comes to the pricing breakdown, when it comes to what comes with each option, and when it comes to just overall looks and functionality? The Sprint, the TI, or the Veloce? Drop those comments down below. Now, if you guys did enjoy the video today, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell, support however you want. And with that said, guys, we will see you in the next Ron's Rise video. Peace.